Okay,
Yes. Now.
great. All right, I think we've started. So this podcast, video, what are we going to call this? Chris and Ryan podcast?
Yes.
So we're recording this video for ourselves and also for our clients, prospective clients, and the general public about this massive transition that we've done over the last year and a half.
Right.
Moving from
hosting to Azure, to the cloud, really,
yeah.
our infrastructure. So we start like 1 year ago, a process to really re-engine, improve, update, depend on how we want to call
So as a CTO,
yeah.
Just by introduction, Ryan Dickau, CTO, Chris Casey, CEO. Why? Our clients are not calling us and saying, hey, if you guys don't switch from SQL on a hosted server to Azure, we're going to fire you.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do this? What was some of the goals that you had?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I understand. Yeah, you as a salesman perspective, always wondering about the client.
Yeah.
That we are true, of course. But sometimes it's like you might to take decision right now for the future. What I mean with that, I know the clients right now are not complaining about what we do, but why? Because they receive, so the file that we provide are delivered daily, But I know that if one day we don't deliver the file well, uptime, in the moment, all of them will be complaining.
Yeah.
And we'll start to ask why.
Yeah.
That's come with one day, that we have an infrastructure incident, really, that some servers go down on our hosting. So that is like a process to start to think, because we can.
You don't need to yell, I don't think.
No.
You can lower your volume a little bit. I don't know how this microphone's going to handle it in this room with all the echo, but.
Yeah, I will try, because
I know you're loud. I'm loud.
Yeah, so I try to do not loud.
This is our first podcast.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We're learning as we're going.
Yeah, so I start the process start to do like an introspective, on everything that we did, how we did. And really, I start that process at a high level. What I mean with high level is about the infrastructure, where the server are running, That day comes well because we have our disaster recovery. We did it. We have the server up and running again. We put everything in place again. But I see that
I'm going to give us a timer for this.
Okay.
5 minutes to do the introduction.
Yes.
Because I think we can talk about this for an hour.
Yeah, cool. So that's good, because making the long history short.
Yeah.
Pretty much like I start to try to think about it, how we did things. Okay. So I realized that the data industry, the technology industry, there is a lot of changes there, that we must to start to look at there, when we start this like 10 years ago, processing the data on SQL like we are doing right now, was industry standard, if we want to call like that, because it's 10 years ago.
And it was scalable because we just had more SQL servers on.
Exactly, you can scale.
And the whole premise of why we started WealthTechs was we saw our competition. They're not on databases. They're not on modern architecture.
Exactly.
We started the company on modern architecture.
Yeah.
They had business analysts doing mapping of data.
Exactly.
We had programmers, because a lot of these mapping, you can't do it with a text editor. You can't do it with like a off-the-shelf ETL tool. You have to be able to look at multiple dates, combine data, and you can only do that through source coding. And this is like people that sell ETL software, no offense, they think you can do everything with that. You can. So, so I think that when we first talked about this, when you saw what was feasible with coding in SQL, then you see Azure come up where scalability goes away. You don't need to have more servers. Everything scales automatically.
Yes, exactly. Of course, one of the main benefits going to cloud scalability, but it's good to differentiate versus vertical scalability and horizontal scalability. Anyway, in the cloud you have both. You can like increase your server size, or you can increase the number of servers that you have, but that goes with something specific. Your infrastructure, I mean, your code and your application that you did must to be prepared for that, must to be flexible for that, must to be, you have to, for example, if you are running jobs and you have a queue running job, that must be prepared to run in multiple servers. That must be, so it's like start to rethink about everything, because we start to grow and we need scalability, we need scalability. So that start with, okay, let's move to the cloud. Let's move to Azure. Why we pick?
And I think kind of around the same time, ChatGPT came out, and AI became this.
Not in the same time, because we start this process to move to the cloud first, and then
ChatGPT exploring June, July 2023.
Yeah,
and it's like it was just like an atomic bomb went off. We're like, oh my god, like we have to. This is the next thing. Like
exactly,
our data's got to be AI capable to be able to go in and talk to AI and let AI analyze the data. And it's got to be in a format that where it can get at the source data from the custodians, get at our code, as well as get at our output of normalized data.
Completely. Yeah.
So
exactly.
Because the end result is automating people's jobs, right?
Yeah.
Reconciliation and all these other things.
Sure.
So.
And also something important, before AI explode, because this is what happened, explode, and we finish that process to move over our infrastructure to the cloud. It's like we are just on the floor of the cloud, all the service that they offer. So it's like, this is like, oh, okay, now it's just the start, So when we finish the migration, it was just a start for me, because I start to have, by hand, all the service that we really need to apply. So that's come with, okay, we need to do something, with our internal code on the way that we are doing things, So that comes with exactly the presentation that we are trying to not go so much in deep, because something important on this conversation is I don't want to go so deep in technical. I just want to explain a little bit, just to understand the process that we are
just to doing. Call timeout on us. We have 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So how many slides do you have prepared?
I think it's 8 as maximum.
Right. So I would like to keep this to like maybe 5 minutes a slide.
Maybe it could be less, but let's go through that.
Let's go through that. Just keep us on track so we don't bore the listeners.
Completely. So
I know they're like,
sure.
So,
but it's good that the introduction to understand what we are going to explain, because that's come with the current process.
Okay.
How we do things.
So take it away, Ryan.
Exactly. So
I'm going to try to ask pertinent questions that I think the general public would want to ask.
Exactly. That's my idea.
The current process is the current process. So I would just get through this.
Yeah, because the current process is, as you know, we get file, so we need to download file, we need to zip file, we need to decrypt file. That get files, as we call, is that step on the process that we connect to the custodian side, somehow get the data and put the data ready to be imported to SQL. Because as you know, right now we are processing everything on SQL, and the industry right now on the custodian is files. So in some way we need to get the file and make sure, do all the preparation that we need to do with that file, to import that file to a SQL database. Okay, because that is start the process. So that's come with the next step, is to import the file. Pretty much what we did is to follow. We have tables on the SQLs, when we put the file as it is. So we don't apply any filter, we don't apply nothing. We just want to have the version of the file on a table SQL. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a SQL version of the SFTP CSV files we get from the banks, brokers, and
completely
other different data sources.
Completely. So when we have that file imported, So we have that table filled with the data, which is the most important piece here, is that we start this map step. Map step, to really understand overall what we do on map is we apply all the power that we have on SQL.
Okay, but time out. So the mapping, just for the general public, this is basically stored procedures.
So procedures
that we've written, the developers have written.
Exactly.
Based on business analysis,
documentation
from the custodians.
Yeah.
Our output, which
transform out
right.
the
So
code,
converting from their security types to our security types, from their transaction codes to our transaction codes.
Yeah.
And then also all the client feedback that we've gotten over the years.
Exactly.
When they've said, "Hey guys, you did this wrong or that wrong, or this isn't quite right. Do this way."
Exactly.
That way.
Yes.
All right. So that's the mapping, right?
That's the mapping. Yes, where we apply all the business rule.
Right. So the output of the mapping process is our WealthTechs PAD portfolio accounting data format, right?
Exactly.
Which is still in SQL at this point.
Exactly. Yes, it's still in SQL.
So you have input, you have import data that's as it is. You have the code to map it. Then you have the output.
The output data on one centralized database.
One centralized database.
Yeah.
Positions, transactions, tax lots. The whole 9 yards. All that, and then basically that's where you're at now with the mapping, right?
Exactly.
And then the next step.
The next step is that we have this centralized database with all the data from different custodians that we already mapped. Is the verify process.
Yeah.
When we pretty much run a batch of rules to verify the integrity of this data, all the business rules that we have. Like, for example, if we don't have duplicate position, if we don't have any kind of
empty files.
Exactly.
Yeah.
New
transaction codes.
New transaction
security types I've never seen before.
Exactly. Okay. Things like that. And also,
how many verify rules do you run approximately?
Approximately, let's say 150.
150. Okay. And is reconciliation part of that?
Let's say not part of that batch of rule. In the past, it was one rule on verification, but we realized that it's not. We realized we see that we need to separate the reconciliation on another process.
And just for the general public, our reconciliation is previous days, positions, and transactions added together should equal current trade date positions.
Exactly.
Right. So securities, quantity.
Exactly. Cash balance.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So that's our recon. It's not that we're reconning against some portfolio accounting system.
Not for now. Yeah. Not for now. But future podcasts.
On ChatGPT, reconcile.
Yeah. So pretty much we do the maths, and reconcile and see if some of them don't reconcile because
you got 25 seconds.
Yeah. So pretty much after that is just we are still in SQL. So we need to export the file and deliver the file via SFTP.
So it's SFTP for people that are ingesting SFTP.
Yeah.
We also have our API.
Right.
And we also have BDS, our bespoke data services, which are custom files. So somewhere in that export, the custom files are created as well.
Exactly.
All right. So I think that's simple. Get files, import, map, verify, export, boom. API, SFTP, PAD files, the portfolio accounting data, our standard flagship product, and then the custom files are created.
Completely.
All right, cool.
Yeah, cool. So that's going with the next layer. I don't know the next layer. Next presentation. Perfect. Limitations. So I try to list here the main limitation that I see. This is technical. This is not about business, except for the rigidity. I don't know.
Rigidity.
Yeah, it's the best word in the world. Sorry for my English always, But let's start with that. What we at least the limitation we see here is we need more flexibility on the wheel, And more flexibility means.
Can you give us a basic use case of what you mean by flexibility?
Completely.
From a client's range without saying a client name.
I will try to point to one use case we have right now, or we have is something now that, for example, for the negative balance, Right.
So we have a client that wants margin cache to be negative quantity, negative amount. We're like, oh, well, just we don't need to make changes on our standard API. You can just go in and put it, you go to your code where you import the data through our API. And just if simple equals margin, then make quantity and okay, yeah.
It's some of them, or all the use cases that we have with our BDS, that we realize sometimes that the only change that the client wants is just by columns, Instead of have, let's say, portfolio code, security type, security symbol, and quantity, they want, let's say, in different order. And it's like, okay, but this is like, again, we understand is, okay, yeah, we are so much frigids, or how to say, and we need to be more flexible,
I think those are good examples, Ryan.
Yeah.
So let's move on to SQL dependency.
SQL dependency. Right now.
Use other technologies.
Exactly.
So if you want to use Python or
Python, C#, Spark, all the new technology that is right now for data processing.
Right.
Why? Because SQL is a database engine, not a data processing engine. Can you use that as data processing? Of course, we are using for that. But SQL as a relationship database is prepared to do database engine, So have queries, relationship with entity and get whatever you want. And there is a lot of more technology different in the world that we can use for data processing.
And we don't know what's coming down the pipe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because with AI,
we don't know. We don't know. Maybe in the future, instead of like importing all the data on SQL and writing fixed rules to map the data, maybe you just create a really good prompt. You send the source data, you send the prompt, AI build it, and you get it, So that kind of,
especially for industry standard file types like ISO or FIX or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is good with what we are planning right now to avoid this anyway, we are talking about limitation.
Yeah, no. So we've got another minute and a half. I think the audience understands the SQL dependency and how that was a real benefit at one point in time, 10 years ago, but now it's like.
Yeah, and we need to do something, with not only with SQL, because then you have the technology locked in. I put that, and it's like, there is a lot of things that we are using on technology on our code right now that are difficult to change because we don't have, our, let's say, architecture on the code, to allow, to break that dependency that we have in technology. And also, we are so much Windows dependency because right now, as a storage, we are using Windows servers with a Windows file system as storage.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's, I will say, is bad, but there is a lot of another kind of things now that we can use, that provide us a lot of benefit, and especially if we're in the cloud,
Cool.
So, going next, what we propose right now is this, okay? So in some way, what we propose right now is rename a little bit.
All right, so there's a lot of jargon.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to make this crystal clear for the people like me, the business people that, like, I see blob.
Yeah, good. Because what is the main step? No, let me say the first step that we are going to do, change our storage layer.
Yeah.
Instead of use Windows file system for everything and database in some point, we are going to use Azure storage account with blob. What is the blob? Really, man, the blob is an array of bytes stored.
Array of bytes.
Yeah.
So it's not in the database. And when I look at Azure and I see the blob, to me, it looks like Windows file system.
Looks like Windows file system because it's the way that you see, it's the way that we are used to manage files. And that's the way that's
familiar, old school.
Exactly.
UI.
And what you are looking there really is the blob storage browser. It's a way that you see the data.
So it's a UI that Microsoft built
Exactly.
for us to look at data the way we've also looked at it, which is in manila folders that you double click and go in and see files.
Exactly. But in terms of technology, in terms of protocol that it used, instead of security layer that you have there, change dramatically. Okay. And really, blob storage is the technology. And also we are using right now data lakes with this one layer more on the blob storage. Okay. I don't want to go in deep technically on that, but it's to understand.
Is it fair to say that the whole thing is a data lake?
Exactly.
And then the blobs are in the data lake?
Exactly. You have one blob per file, let's say.
All right.
We must start to move away from the file concept as a file, because file is what Windows put on our mind, Right. But yes, let's say that blob, because blob is the word, Right. So it's the data set.
So learn that word, blob.
Blob. Exactly. Yes.
Right.
So
it's kind of the same process. We get data, we ingest it. What is the ingestion like? How is that different from?
Good question.
Loading before we put the raw data from the sources, banks, brokers, whatever, IBORs, into SQL. What's the difference now with ingest versus what we're doing before?
Yes. Really, the difference we just split the process of get file into fetch and ingest. Why? Two reasons. One of them is, as you see, we like a split raw data from source data. And what we use that kind of trick,
Raw data from, isn't that the same thing?
Oh, good. No. Why? Because raw data for us is the data as the custodian or the data, let's say the data providers,
data source.
Exactly, provide to us, What it means, if they provide.
So that could be encrypted.
Encrypted, zipped. The naming are not really good.
Right.
All the, sorry for the word, all that kind of shit, that is on the file.
So we do.
Exactly. Because
we deal with shit.
Yeah. And we clean shit.
We clean shit.
This is what we do.
Sorry about the four-letter word.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's a good description.
So the fetch process is just to go get that file as it is and put on the blobs on the raw blob storage as it is. Nothing else. So in the fetch part, we deal with if they provide data from API, from SFTP, push or pull, website download, and in the future, maybe there is another kind of method to fetch the data. But it's just to fetch the data.
A little different than what we're doing now. So
a little, but yeah.
And then we have the
ingestion part.
The ingest.
Yeah. Ingestion part is the process where we take the raw data and let's say prepare that data, okay, or fix that data, or fix that to decrypt the data and save the data, converting the format of CSV with headers, why? For the really good business of data analysis.
That's all when AI.
Of course.
Okay. Why?
Why? Because
everybody wants to know about how is this AI applicable, right? Everybody's like, well, AI is BS and blah, blah, blah. But for AI, so Ryan and I, we started working with Columbia University about 5 years ago in AI. And one thing I learned very early is when we taught these kids in class was the data is never clean.
Right.
So you got to clean the data before you can apply AI. And the majority of the work is the cleaning of the data.
Exactly.
And making sure that it's readable by the AI. Just the AI is not going to make sense.
Exactly.
It gives you crappy returns.
So if you can say that ingestion part is the clean part, it's correct.
All right.
We clean the data too. So if you see when you have the data on raw.
Because when I think of ingest, I think of take it as is. But it's really ingest and clean.
Exactly. It's ingest and clean.
Maybe we need to come up with a different word like in clean.
Maybe.
Clean just.
Yeah, always. You love to clean things, but anyway, we clean the data.
I love my new words.
Yeah. You clean the data. So that means that when you finalize the ingestion part, you will find on the source data blob storage all the blob well named with date with a name of the data set that means something,
For the young people to say we tag it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Tagging the data. Right.
And CSV with header, which is easy to, let's say, download and read on Excel, or really what we are doing there is creating a source data viewer, that you can read on the table, filter, and do analysis.
So when our business analysts go in, they can look at data through the data viewer in Azure and
analyze because
it's got headers and it's named properly,
and you can apply filters using and so.
And when we hire our AI business analysts, they
can start from there instead of deal with all the shit files, because it's file cleaner,
So you got one more minute on this slide. The transform layer.
Transform is
so one big thing that you did in this migration out of SQL is you're not writing store procedures. You moved all that to C# code, right?
Not 100% right now. This is not our focus right now.
Okay.
And this is the strategy that we are going.
So it's still store procedures in SQL?
Right now, yes, in this milestone that we have on the technology roadmap, and the future milestone is to replace, one of them will be C#. Really, what we are looking for is to use a Spark because of the technology.
What's Spark? We don't know what Spark is.
Doesn't matter for right now, because
we'll do another podcast on Spark.
Maybe we can really educate ourselves on a Spark podcast because it's in a standard in the industry.
Best way to start.
But my point here is I don't want to focus on one technology specifically. I want to focus on the change and that's dependency break that we did.
Adaptability for technology.
Exactly. Because right now on the transform, we can use, if we want, we can use Spark, C#, SQL.
Or 1 minute over.
Or let's say ADF. We can use any tool.
Azure Data Factory.
Exactly.
Okay.
Anything that we want on the transformation. Okay.
Right. So we even if a client wanted to use their own ETL tool.
Right. Yes.
Access or
something
like that. Okay.
Or Excel maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, use Excel.
So
then we've got the transformations, and that's the normalization process.
Exactly. It's the normalization.
So that's getting into our portfolio accounting data format.
Exactly.
With our security types, our transaction codes.
The transformation that we.
All right. And then goes in an output data blob. So that's a blob.
Yeah.
It's not in SQL.
It's not in SQL. So we replace the centralized database that we had in the past for a data lake.
Right.
When we have all the output data stored there.
And then validation. So it's kind of the same.
Same, but different technology because you need to deal with blob storage. Okay. Yes.
And then deliver it API, SFTP files.
Or wherever.
Files. Yeah. All right. Cool. Voila.
Yeah. So here is I try to explain a little bit Azure. Oh no. I came there. Okay. So Azure storage, blob storage. That really is the milestone that we are right now in this moment that we are recording this podcast.
So today is what is today? September 23rd.
Yeah.
2025.
So the idea for the end of this quarter is to have the Azure Blob Storage with data lakes fully on production with all our interface. So all our data, I mean raw, source, and output is on data lakes. Okay. So this is our milestone where we are right now on our product roadmap. So it's pretty much that's why you see on our rock list, our quarter goal is adopt data lake as unified storage.
When says quarterly rock, that means our quarterly goals.
Exactly.
Goals.
So I love this. As you see, I put that 3 benefit. It's normal. If we want, we can go to ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever.
Yeah, you could take a screenshot of this, throw it into ChatGPT or Gemini, and say, "Tell me about this." And so we don't want to waste your time, but
exactly.
The main 3 things we saw were
security and scalability. So we don't need to worry about the amount of data we process because I promise that I should have a lot of space.
Yeah, the way they charge for it.
Exactly. Yeah. Security is because, of course, use completely more
You did not translate that to
Oh,
English.
sorry.
All right, so all of you watching this are going to have to take the right side of the screen and put it into ChatGPT and say convert to English, unless you want to read it in Spanish.
Yeah. So anyway, it's not the key of the presentation anyway, because in this case, we are talking about a specific technology. Right. And right now we pick as an storage the data lake on Azure because we are in the cloud of Azure and we pick that.
Right.
But the architecture that we're going to deploy on our code will allow us in the future to use another service.
All right.
You know, like, let's say Amazon.
All right.
Let's say
Google Cloud.
Wherever, you know, another
Snowflake.
Exactly.
All right.
Some storage that we want to use.
So you're opening up your options.
Exactly.
All right. So great.
And that's come with this. Again, this is so much difficult to explain something so much technical that means a lot for development life cycle.
Should I give you 6 minutes for this slide?
No, because I don't want to go in deep, and I am more open
so
for.
Let me simplify this for the people.
Okay.
Clean architecture.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
What the hell that means? Clean architecture is just is the architecture that you use in your code, how you code things. Okay. And what is the main thing on the clean architecture? At the end of the day, clean architecture is like a philosophy in the industry. Okay.
So it's like agile.
Exactly, like agile, you know, for project management, you know.
How you develop code.
Exactly. What is the good thing that we see with this architecture? One of the things is we have in the center, you know, the domain is where you define your business rule, what you do. Okay.
Is that your library?
It's a library that you define.
So this is everything we do. We do data transformations. We do.
But more in detail that what we do: fetch, ingest, transform, validate. Is the step that you must to follow always. Doesn't matter the interface on the implementation that you did, you must to follow that domain because it's what we do and it's our business. It's the core of our business. Okay? So this is what application really orchestrate how the business rule that we have and execute the task. It's just an intermediate, you know, between the infrastructure. Infrastructure, this is where you create the no framework or technology dependency. Okay, because in infrastructure you build just strategies for different things, you know, that you connect to the application, you know, to follow the domain. Okay, what it means, for example, right now I have all the transformation strategies on SQL. You know, tomorrow I can pick one of the interface and say, I don't want to use more SQL. I want to use C#. And I create just a strategy to transform the data via C#. I connect that via infrastructure, and I don't need to test everything.
You don't need to uproot
exactly and review.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. What create that one?
So basically, it really has to do with maintaining your flexibility
and scalability. Yeah.
Yeah.
And adopt the market changes.
Being AI ready, because
right.
every piece of this AI will get into at some point in time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Or let's suppose, as we are talking about for the transformation strategy, I don't want to use Spark. I don't want to use SQL. I just want to say on that strategy, okay, this is my source data. This is the prompt. So AI builds something, you know, so I can execute and transform the data.
Right. And that becomes infrastructure.
Exactly.
That then you can reuse and
totally, you know, and you are keep doing our fetch, ingest, new transform strategy. So you don't change the entire process to do it. You just change that strategy on how you do things, you know. We can do the same for validation strategies, you know. Yeah, we can validate in different ways. Same for delivery. Let's suppose tomorrow we want to deliver the data on, I don't know. So that's the idea.
And then implementation
is where we create the what we call interface. So we create, let's say, show up interface, and we connect all the strategy that you have in infrastructure, you know, with the application to follow the domain.
So you can pick and choose. Like you could mingle C# with SQL with
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's the idea.
And then on the right are the benefits.
Yeah.
Right.
Flexibility is one of the main things. Okay. Scalability, I will say, I don't put really there.
I know, but I think adapting to the market changes, because the market's going to change so fast with AI.
Yeah.
Like you got to be ready. You got to have your data right, or else you lose the opportunity. You have to go rebuild it all again.
Exactly.
And we don't want to go through multiple rebuilds.
And it's not only about the be ready with the data. Is to be ready with our code.
And the whole way you process data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reduce maintenance cost, of course, because right now we don't need to change and test everything. You just change one part and test one part, And about technology logging again, because it's one of the strategy. It's like old, we can change this strategy, This is what we are looking.
I'd almost like, from a metaphorical perspective, it's like you can have your machine running, but you can change parts and put new parts in while the machine's running. Is that a good one?
Come on, man. Yeah. Get it. It's exactly that. This is when I say a strategy is this kind of parts that you can replace, like plug and play.
Yeah.
This is what we see, and as you see there, this is what I did that graphic, so you can unplug and plug a new strategy.
Right. So I think we have 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
I think I got this. Hopefully everybody else got it too.
Yeah. So.
Is this the last slide?
Yeah, because then you have the benefit that to talk about benefits. That I think now that you get so much better, because I think we close that cycle.
Yeah. Because I mean, the last screen, kind of the clean architecture produces a lot of benefits, which this is the end benefits to our clients, to us, to our future clients. And to technology providers that need our data.
Right. So what comes first? Have the clean architecture that we have. Now we replace the strategy of storage. Next, we are going to change the strategy for how we transform the data. How come next? We will change the strategy on how we verify or do that kind of, because at the end of the day, the verification is like automation testing that we did, on our data.
It's QA.
Exactly, So this is the modernization that we go in, on our, say, data processing architecture, And one main thing here, the idea is always try to be fully PIS on Azure. I mean, platform as a service, Would use all the service that you have on Azure, and use that, because that reduces a lot of costs on the IT operations, security, compliance, So that's a Of course, sometimes increase a little bit the cost, but this is the balance that we are trying to get, And in summary, I think is that,
So where do you see this all going? Like, where do you see us 12 months from now?
12 months from now?
Given what you talked about today.
Wow.
Or don't you know?
I know, because this is how I develop the technology roadmap. But I really see us.
Can we do another one of these on our technology roadmap?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because we're referring to it. I think we're obligating ourselves to talk about it.
Exactly, but this kind of presentation must come first, because on the technology roadmap you will see a lot of concept that.
What is that?
Exactly. Because the technology roadmap on the data engineer part, because then we have the web development part, which is so much exciting, and I think that's come next.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna mention some of the stuff we've talked about.
Yeah.
And that it's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, 2050 Space Odyssey type stuff. So we'll save that for later. Little hook. Keep you guys watching for the video. And we did this totally unscripted. This is totally off the hook. We've been talking about doing this, and we've been procrastinating for 3 weeks, but I'm glad we did it.
Yes.
I think this is great.
I will not say it's great, because I take like a Spanish presentation and try to.
No, but it's real. It's real.
It's real. Yeah.
This wasn't well rehearsed. It's raw. It's from the hip, and I think people like it, and we would love feedback.
And this is what we are I mean, how we want to do the thing, you know, everything
Yeah,
is
so I'm gonna
show how we are and
Yeah, so I'm gonna send this out to all of our clients, put it up on LinkedIn, put it on YouTube, and hopefully people watch it.
yeah. I am not sure if I want that kind of presentation on LinkedIn, but what I can do.
It's fine. It's fine. I think it's
Um,
better. Let's wrap up, shall we?
sure. Yeah.
Any final words?
No. I hope that is the beginning of something. I mean, the first of another ones.
Yeah.
Improve our
Not
quality
one-
of the thing, but
Not one a week, maybe one every quarter, but
yeah,
one every
sure.
month. But we got a lot to talk about. We want you guys to be excited as we are. This is the new world.
Right.
We're right here, right on it. So
It's where we are on what we are working right now, and it's coming. So just answer the question that you did is like where I see us on 12 months, really fully up and running on Azure PIS, not infrastructure platform, with all the tools that we have there, you know,
do you
to
think
open.
we'll be out of SQL completely, or do you think we'll
Yes,
still be?
no, we will be
Okay.
out of
All
SQL.
right, cool.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, Ryan.
thank you.
Buzzer.
Thank you. Bye.